Yeah, in the wake of Michelle Trachtenberg's death, a lot of people are reacting. Fans and loved ones are posting about her passing and mourning her death. And it was just reported that her death was officially ruled undetermined on Thursday morning. Her family has now objected to an autopsy being done on her. And I believe that the explanation for that is that she had a medical condition where such that they were not surprised by her death, and that it was known that this was a strong possibility. The New York Post also reported that Michelle Trachtenberg knew death was a high possibility in the final months of her life, according to a friend. So she had just gone under this liver transplant.
Oh.
We don't know why. Some people are saying that it's probably related to alcohol, but we won't probably find out, and her family is entitled to keep that information private anyway. So that's probably why they rejected the possibility of an autopsy. And it's not being seen as anything suspicious or unexpected even. I did see a lot of people who have worked with her posting about her death, including Blake Lively, who is not in the good graces of the public right now. But she's
in my good graces, though.
You're on Blake Lively's side officially?
Absolutely. She was beating up on a feminist. Absolutely.
Yeah, she posted to her Instagram story a picture of her on the set of Gossip Girl with Michelle Trachtenberg, saying, "This is the first day I met Michelle. She was electricity. You knew when she entered a room because the vibration changed. Everything she did 200%, laughed the fullest at someone's jokes, and faced authority head on when she felt something was wrong. She cared deeply about her work, was proud to be part of this community and industry, as painful as it could be sometimes. She was fiercely loyal to her friends and brave for those she loved. She was big and bold and distinctly herself. And she always, okay, I'm not trying to be hypercritical, but this is the part of Blake Lively's statement that I was just like kind of weirded out by, not gonna lie. She said, she always had yummy caramel-smelling lip gloss on because she didn't just want to sparkle on camera. She liked creating a nice experience for anyone who was in her orbit, even down to the subtle smell of her lip gloss, because she cared about the sweet details."
Okay, the term yummy. I have heard women, I heard a woman use the term yummy to describe a sweater.
Oh, I have not heard that use.
So for
before.
me, like when I hear women say yummy, I don't automatically think like something relating to
I mean,
food
it's
or
more that she went
flavor or
into
whatever.
talking about lip gloss at all, is what you're saying?
I think that it raised my attention because of Blake Lively's use of the word yummy in that infamous text message to Justin Baldoni about the rooftop scene, saying that her lines were like deliciously yummy and stuff. I don't know.
See, but again, that would not be, at least in my, I mean, I would need to know a little more context to be sure, but that to me doesn't automatically sound like flavor.
Like, none of this bothers me because it's like when you meet somebody, everybody has their own gauge for how they remember their interactions with other people. And obviously, these were very specific things that came to mind for her. Yeah. And a hypercritical person would be like, maybe you need a copy editor on this. No. But that's not the way the world works. That's not how people work.
She was a kind person through and through. Time passes. What did she say? Time passes. You take for granted that you get the chance to see an old friend. To paraphrase, the real tragedies in life are the ones that blindside you on an idle Tuesday. Hold those you love and have loved dear. The world lost a deeply sensitive and good person in Michelle. May her work and her huge heart be remembered by those who were lucky enough to experience her fire. A lot of people would just didn't want to take Blake Lively's statement at face value because they have Blake Lively derangement syndrome at the moment, given her lawsuit. But I think she has the right to post about this, given that she knew her personally.
There's two things that I don't even think we even got into yesterday that we at least get to bring up today. So she did mention here that she faced authority head on, and we didn't even bring up Joss Whedon. And all of the conflict between her and Joss Whedon, the fact that when she was underage, she wasn't allowed to be in a room alone with him, not for, from what I understand, not for like sexual reasons, but just because he was a he was a jerk, okay? But not just that, but look, they're making a Buffy reboot. like
Yeah.
right now. Like this
Yeah.
is the timing is almost terrifying when you think about it. Like that's in the process of being like, that was just a news headline last week. We never talked about, I mean, I've talked about Buffy on this channel before because I've compared it to stuff and I tell you guys that I love the show, but it's not like we'd covered anything Buffy related in the last couple of years. It had just started coming back out when this news broke.
Right. Sarah Michelle Gellar also posted about
She did.
Michelle's passing. And then I saw also Taylor Momsen post on her Instagram about
So
it.
James Marsters, who's also a co-star with her on Buffy, they all did, and it's sad. It really is.
Rosie O'Donnell also posted about Michelle Trachtenberg, saying, "I loved her very much. She struggled the last few years. I wish I could have helped." Which is kind of an ominous statement.
It was. Out of all of them, it was the only one that leaned ominous. Everybody else leaned into remembering her fondly. This one had a more serious tone to it.
Right. It almost suggests that she was aware of
Struggles?
Michelle having some kind of mental health or substance problem. And that's what a lot of people are speculating about. And they were speculating about it in her Instagram comments weeks ago as well, given her changed appearance. A lot of people were commenting on our video that we posted last night about her death, saying that they could tell she looked jaundiced.
Gaunt.
And
Her eyes did have, like, that's the thing was, so we were looking at like a reposted picture on one of the websites where her eyes did look jaundiced, but because I don't trust the media, like, I don't know how much. Remember when there was that picture of the video of Joe Rogan and they made him look more green?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I was like, did they bump up the colors
maybe
on this? I don't know.
I mean, I don't put it past the media.
But it was clearly noticeable to a lot of people who followed her closely.
Yeah, and that's what was really frustrating. I noticed there were some comments about this on our video as well. It's frustrating that you cannot comment on something that's very obvious to the naked eye when a celebrity looks drastically different from the way they used to look, not just because of aging, but a clear health problem. If you comment anything about it, people come after you and they say that you're being a hater. Yeah. When in reality, it's just a human trying to express concern for another human. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, the thing is,
there's also nothing wrong with being a hater, especially seeing as someone's going to call you a hater for literally anything.
If someone deserves to have haters, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I noticed there was a similar discourse around Ariana Grande. People commenting about how she's clearly in some kind of medical crisis because she is extremely underweight and looks much different than she used to. And all of her fans are telling you, like, shut up, you're just being a hater. That's not fair.
It's because, look, you don't go to the internet for genuine concern. Most people don't. And even if you do feel that way, the general take from most people is they're combative. Like, how many times online, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, where somebody says something catty to you, and if you respond in earnest, it like disarms them. They're actually shocked that you would give them an honest response. Now, there's two schools of thought with that. Sometimes the idea is to just be snotty back because, look, if you're not going to operate in good faith and talk to me in good faith, I won't talk to you in good faith. But sometimes people are just so programmed to think that way online that they don't realize that there are people who may have genuine concern. But there's also the idea of, like, look, does genuine concern even matter when it's somebody who doesn't know you in the real world? And people are just kind of shocked by that whole discourse.
Yeah, I just think it's not wrong to express concern if you're doing it in a way that's humane and shows basic civility. I did see a lot of hostile, insulting comments on her Instagram from last month. Yeah. But I also saw a lot of people who were genuinely expressing concern, and it appears that they were right to do so.
Yeah. It's weird because it's one of those things that Olivia will tell you. Like, I have the morbid facts whenever we see an actor on TV who's died. This literally happened just last night. We were watching an episode of Blue Bloods. I'm like, oh, that's Nathaniel Marston. He died in like 2010. She's like, why would you tell me that?
You just
I was like, I can't help it. It's a tick.
You also, like, it makes you cynical when you notice people just heaping praise on someone that probably they haven't remembered for years. Yeah. And people acting like
you mean the people they worked with?
Not the people they worked with, but a lot of people who are like fans Like, suddenly you're a fan now that this person died?
I'm not cynical about that.
I don't know.
Look, the news cycle is so fast and our attention is so distracted and pointed towards very, very, like, specific things every day. Like, sure, if Ariana Grande, if something bad happens to Ariana Grande, then it's the Super Bowl for the people who run the Ariana Grande fan clubs. But that doesn't mean that there aren't millions of people that don't like her that just don't talk about it all the time. Sure. And then as soon as something comes up in the news that's relevant to it, it makes it relevant again. Like, I don't think that's actually, I think that's actually deeply cynical to be like, unless you run some type of stan account for this celebrity, you shouldn't have an opinion or talk about the good times when that person, sure. I mean, I did it when, I mean, we've had this discussion before where you're like, I don't really, like, it's like, do I care if celebrities die? Well, it's not like I knew them, but I can speak to specific examples where the work they've done has meant something to me, however little that might be. Maybe it means a little bit more if you do this for work and you're kind of and you've watched a lot of movies, you watch a lot of TV, so it matters. But to the average everyday person, we're going to talk about Gene Hackman later, and there's going to be plenty of people in the chat talking about movies that he's made that meant something to them. Doesn't mean that they sit around all day and what's Gene Hackman doing?
Yeah, well,
I wonder.
The timing of both Michelle Trachtenberg and Gene Hackman being found dead on the same day is pretty crazy. We're going to get into that later, though.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.